If you're enjoying this material, consider expressing your satisfaction through a positive gesture. The more support we receive, the greater our visibility, and that truly makes a difference. Today, we have a series of relevant pieces of information to analyze, including the discussion around the contract of an important player. There is an expressed expectation regarding the finalization of this deal, which comes as no surprise. It has been stated that the agreement will happen, and everyone is hoping that negotiations are completed as soon as possible. It's interesting to note that some statements reflect the influence of certain individuals within the organization. It's important to remember that every negotiation involves two parties. Once these parties meet, if the right people are involved, they will be ready to act. There is also mention of the possibility that this player may not be part of the team in 2025. The response was that this is considered unlikely, highlighting that he is a high-level athlete capable of impacting opposing defenses for an extended period. Personally, I'm convinced that this agreement will be closed. I would be genuinely surprised if we reach the first week of the season, or even before, without this matter already being resolved. I believe that the question now isn't whether the contract will be formalized, but rather when it will happen. This situation reminds me that, at one point, there was a mention of a possible trade, but that topic has not been brought up again, as everyone involved wants to see this deal come to fruition. However, it is common for there to be a lack of urgency in finalizing deals at the right time. Overall, we can say that before the season starts is truly a crucial point for these negotiations. How confident are you regarding the completion of this player's contract? This is the central question in the comments. Agreements need to be finalized at the right time. So, in general, while there are no set dates, we can consider the start of the season as the real deadline. What is your level of confidence in relation to the closure of the contract? This is the focus of today's discussion, so feel free to share your thoughts. Assess your confidence on a scale from 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, regarding the finalization of the contract this offseason. There were also relevant observations made about the timing of negotiations. It was said that agreements have been resolved quickly in the past, and there have been those that lasted until the very last minute. Much depends on the negotiations themselves, as some contracts take more time than others. It was stated that opinions suggesting too much waiting to conclude deals are not taken seriously. However, there's a contradiction in this attitude. On a previous occasion, during an interview, when asked about his biggest regret, he mentioned that he probably should have closed a player's contract earlier, as it would have benefited everyone involved. You cannot claim that you don't value early deal closures while acknowledging failure in doing so in other cases. This inconsistency is concerning, as it reveals a larger problem within the organization. Often, errors are not recognized, and responsibility for decisions is not assumed. It seems that there is always an attempt to find external justifications for their failures. While it's admitted that they took too long with a certain contract, they simultaneously deny similar delays in other deals. This lack of accountability is frustrating. Apparently, they believe they are handling everything correctly, even in the face of contrary evidence. The reluctance to address one of their main systemic issues, concluding contracts efficiently, does not inspire confidence that improvements are on the way. Had they made quicker decisions regarding certain contracts, the situation could be very different. Addressing one of their most important systemic problems, the inability to finalize deals efficiently, does not generate confidence that improvements will come. This is extremely frustrating. Had they taken earlier action regarding the contract of a talented player, another player, and a quarterback, they could have saved a significant amount of resources. However, this is not the preferred way to conduct business. What will be discussed today, along with other team updates, is brought by a platform that has become quite popular among sports fans. It is possible to download the app directly from the platform's website. With millions of users and substantial prizes offered, this tool has truly opened doors for participation in daily fantasy sports, allowing anyone to get involved. By choosing whether athletes will perform above or below their projections, participants can secure significant returns on their investments. Personally, I really value the Flex Play feature, which allows for a wrong choice without resulting in a total loss. There are many aspects to consider for the upcoming football season, A team's offense may not be as strong, and a standout athlete might have his workload reduced. Additionally, the team might decide not to overload the quarterback with excessive runs. Recently, an update was shared about the condition of an injured quarterback. With the team preparing to begin its off-season program on the 7th of April due to the hiring of a new head coach, they have 2 extra weeks to prepare. Information about the quarterback's recovery was shared, indicating that he is progressing well and is pleased with his current condition, as is the coaching staff. Despite some limitations, the quarterback is known for his strong work ethic, and everyone remains optimistic about his situation. I would interpret these limitations on off-season training as a controlled count of throws, which seems reasonable for this time of year. It's common for athletes recovering from injuries to have a gradual increase in workload. However, as has been observed, it is expected that he will be ready, and there would be no reason to worry about his recovery. Regarding the throw count, which seems logical, it's April, and this is not uncommon, especially for those recovering from injuries, as they are in a sort of pitch count. However, as mentioned, he should be ready. I see no reason for concern. I know there have been a lot of misleading reports suggesting that he wouldn't be fit for training, but he is already active and working out. You may have seen some videos indicating that he is ready. Now, this doesn't mean we shouldn't be concerned about the broader injury situation, as I believe, on some level, we all should be mindful of this. In recent years, there have been excess injuries, or at least many consecutive occurrences. So, being honest, do you worry about the quarterback's injuries in a broader context? If you could go back in time, 2 or 3 years ago, would you say injuries were your biggest concern? Yes and no. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Additionally, it was mentioned that the team is still looking for players in free agency. The Cowboys have a limit of 90 players like the rest of the league, and currently have 74 players on the roster, plus 10 draft picks, which are part of the 16 available spots. Some cuts may happen soon. However, one area that will definitely require additions from a numerical standpoint is the quarterback position. As expected, the Cowboys are continuing to scout the market for backup quarterbacks. The individual we've analyzed gives us the chance to compete alongside Greer, as well as to perform effectively with Dak and Greer and other talents we may choose during the draft. We'll keep an eye on whether Howard, Quinn, or Tyler Shue will be available. These athletes may or may not be selected in the 5th round. Kyle McCord is unlikely to make it that far, and Dylan Gabriel or Riley Leonard could also emerge as alternatives. Curtis Work should be available, but there are reasons why some players are selected on the 3rd day of the draft, something we shouldn't overlook. Additionally, there are attractive free agent options. Joe Flacco, an experienced backup quarterback, Drew Lock, the starter, and Trey Lance are still on the market, though this doesn't seem like a very strong possibility. However, it's not entirely impossible, despite the information that came out after the season ended. Carson Wentz and Case Keenum are also out there, as is C.J. Beathard, who is technically a Pro Bowler. We also have Tyler Huntley, who stands out as an interesting Pro Bowler in NFL history, and Desmond Ridder, who is young but in a transitional phase. We will also soon look at trade possibilities, focusing on what the Cowboys have available. Soon, we'll have more in-depth conversations about free agency, including a segment where Brian Scheimer talks with Steven about the current situation. It's certain that many more videos will come on this topic, so it's advisable to stay tuned for updates. Regarding the search for a running back, this seems to be a clear direction for the Cowboys, who intend to select this position. If it were a matter of preference, they would choose one early on. Step Jones commented that they value the 2 running backs they signed in free agency and will check if there is a young player in the draft who can contribute. They are clearly open to this possibility, and the phrase, wide open, deserves to be highlighted. The contracts of Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders, on the other hand, do not restrict them to the Cowboys roster. This is the same person who, previously, suggested that Royce Freeman could be our second running back next season, believing in his potential, but he ended up not making the team. Therefore, the situation is always in flux. This new draft class is impressive. It's a remarkable group of running backs. We will probably see more than 10 players in or near my top 100 and 15 or more in the top 150. It's a strong class, It would be unusual not to find someone, as such a situation would be almost careless. Mention a running back you'd like to select. It could be Jenny or someone further down. Leave your thoughts in the comment section of today's program. Finally, there has been some discussion about contract extensions. Step Jones was recently asked about the contract situations of Don Bland and Jake Ferguson. Although he didn't mention names directly, it's clear he's referring to these players when he says they are good athletes the team wants to keep. There are scenarios where we can sit down and discuss such matters, but negotiations depend on mutual collaboration. Evaluating these players may be a somewhat evasive response, but it suggests that if they are willing to accept a value below market rate, a deal may be possible. It wouldn't be the first time the Cowboys extended an important player while prioritizing another. This is not an uncommon situation. There are 4 players who stand out, with Micah Parsons being the most prominent. They have the 5th-year option on Tyler Smith, which should be assessed this offseason. Otherwise, the Cowboys risk delaying a new contract situation. Don Bland is a free agent this year, and it would be wise to try to keep him. As for Ferguson, I have some reservations. He didn't have a strong performance last season. The question is whether the team will be able to identify their needs and recognize who will be beneficial in the long run. If done right, this could lead to savings, but failure to do so could result in another missed opportunity regarding contracts. Many hold the opinion that the last year wasn't especially favorable for some individuals, but the key element lies in the capability to assess talent accurately and discern which athletes will be beneficial in the long run. When done correctly, this approach can result in significant financial savings, whereas a miscalculation could result in another unproductive contract renewal. As a result, there are several players to keep an eye on, not necessarily during the draft itself, but certainly in the period following it, as the team gears up for training camp. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Ezekiel Elliott has finally broken his silence, and the football world is buzzing with his bold comments. In a recently surfaced video, the former Dallas Cowboys running back opens up about his time in Dallas and offers sharp criticism of the team's management and coaching decisions. His words have raised eyebrows, leaving fans and analysts alike wondering, what led Zeke to speak out so candidly now? The anticipation is palpable, as this unexpected revelation could have significant implications for both Elliott's future and the Cowboys' locker room. In a video, Elliott does not hold back, recalling moments where he felt disrespected and undervalued by the Cowboys front office. The running back, who spent most of his career in Dallas before leaving for a brief stint with the New England Patriots, has always been a focal point of the team's offense. However, as he reflects on his departure, it's clear that Elliott believes the Cowboys mishandled his career in ways that impacted his performance and his legacy with the franchise. What's even more striking is Elliott's take on the coaching staff, specifically the decisions made regarding his role in the team's offense during crucial games. Despite being one of the most talented running backs in the league, Elliott claims that his skill set was underutilized, leaving him frustrated and feeling disconnected from the organization. His comments add fuel to the fire of speculation about whether these internal issues played a larger role in the team's struggles in recent seasons. As Elliott gears up for his second stint with the Cowboys in 2024, it's unclear how this open criticism will affect his relationship with the organization moving forward. Will his words lead to a more productive partnership, or will the damage already be done? His candid remarks have certainly left the door open for more to come, and fans are eagerly awaiting any further developments. With Elliott now with the Los Angeles Chargers, the future of his relationship with Dallas is uncertain. But for now, the NFL world is fixated on the tension that his comments have ignited. One thing is for sure, Ezekiel Elliott's explosive statement is just the beginning of a story that is bound to unfold in dramatic fashion. Stay tuned. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.